Welcome to Gadget Surfer TV. The Concorde is a jet that is capable of supersonic flight. Supersonic flight, or a supersonic aircraft, is an aircraft that can fly faster than the speed of sound. The Concorde was one of those aircrafts capable of flying at such a speed. But after a crash in 2000, many people were skeptical of making such an aircraft an option for commercial flights.
For the first time in more than 30 years in its history, a Concorde has crashed.
Hence its discontinuation in 2003. But is it possible that a new Concorde can be created, one that meets the standards of commercial flying? Today, we're going to find out. Will we ever create a new Concorde? Reviving supersonic travel. Mike Bannister piloted the final commercial flight of the Concorde in 2003. He flew over London and what would become his last flight itself on the Concorde. He delivered it to a Bristol museum.
And that's the time when it really hit me, and that's the time when there was actually literally a tear in the eye.
Bannister said it was perfect. People have always wanted to travel fast, hence supersonic travel being such a lucrative option. But after the accident in 2000, combined with low sales and customer interest, it had to be discontinued in 2003. But now, we could very well be seeing the revival of supersonic travel and a new Concorde that could be ready for commercial use. And this prospect is an interesting one, considering what supersonic travel can offer. A cruising altitude of 65,000 feet, which is twice the height of other airliners, and a speed of 1,345.6 miles per hour, which is much faster than the speed of sound. The Concorde flew higher, faster, and way cooler than most modern jets. Get this, you could make the trip from New York to London in 3 hours. That's how fast this thing was. This was possible due to British and French airlines competing with each other in terms of the best supersonic travel. If there was the space race, this was the supersonic race. Soviet forces tried to compete by releasing the Tupolev Tu-144. But it was rather short-lived. It was propaganda-based with no commercial value whatsoever, quickly shooting itself down in the mud. While the Boeing 707 was the USA's attempt at supersonic travel. It was designed to fly over 300 people at an insane speed of 2,300 miles per hour. One of the greatest concepts in modern flight, sadly, remained only a concept. They didn't have the technology, nor did they have the investors for such a project, which left the Concorde to reign supreme for over 27 years before its demise in 2003. But right now, in 2020, supersonic travel could be back in the works. The possibility of being able to fly faster is something that the people will always be interested in. Let's be real, nobody wants to fly in a plane for more than 6 hours, let alone flights that take over 10 to 16 hours. First class or economy, flying at such long intervals is draining not just for the passengers but also the pilots and cabin crew. With supersonic travel, you can reach your destinations in just a fraction of the time a normal commercial flight can offer. As of now, there are two major parties looking to revive supersonic travel. Could they create the new Concorde? Ariane AS2. Ariane is one of the companies looking to make a splash in commercial travel, and they're looking to bring back supersonic flight as an option. Tom Weiss, President, Chairman, and CEO of Ariane Corporation, had this to say: Concorde was a brilliant piece of machinery, a noble experiment, but it put too much emissions in the environment, too much noise into our communities, and was too expensive to operate. What we're trying to do is very different, and with this, we have the AS2.
The Concorde was a noble experiment, but unsustainable. The Concorde was an amazing aircraft, but it was also full of deficiencies. It was too thirsty, too short on range. It was too noisy. In the end, it was too expensive to operate. And only 14 aircraft were ever delivered to airlines.
Ariane is developing a 12-passenger supersonic jet named the AS2. What they hope to accomplish is greatly ambitious. They want this jet to travel at more than 1,000 miles per hour that will essentially shave off 3 hours from flights from JFK to Singapore and JFK to Sydney. FlexJet is already on board as a launch customer as well as leasing company for an order of 20 aircrafts. The first flight is projected to be at 2024, and they hope commercial use is ready by 2026. It will come at a steep price for the company. However, as the AS2 currently comes at a price tag of $120 million. Not exactly cheap, but will hopefully be worth it. They also plan to use the lowest fuel burn possible, correlating with their plans to be more carbon friendly. It's still in the planning stages as of the moment, but it is definitely something that we should watch out for. Boom Supersonic XB1. While on the other side of the world, Boom Supersonic is rolling out its XB1 supersonic test plane. The XB1 is a small-scale model that wants to showcase the new technology, its capabilities in terms of supersonic travel. The world is a much different place than it was in 2003, so they argue that the experience of supersonic flight needs to be different as well. There are definitely ways to make it better, and it's worth exploring every possible avenue. The final model, which will be the flagship model, is called the Overture. Its goal is similar to the AS2. It wants to be the fastest commercial aircraft in the world, but at the same time maintain a low environmental impact. The XB1 is already in its testing program as we speak, and the first flight should be around 2021. Depending on the results of the test flight, we will know when the Overture, which they claim will be the fastest and most sustainable supersonic airline, will be ready for testing. Their goal is to have the Overture ready for commercial use not later than the year 2030. Is it really needed? A question asked for any ambitious project at a large scale. We have to consider the effects of COVID-19 and the pandemic that has affected the world. The travel industry probably suffered the biggest blow of the year 2020. They're even saying that business travel will not return to its previous level. But this won't stop Ariane and Boom Supersonic from pursuing this project. While it may take time for things to go back to normal, air travel is something that connects us as human beings. Being able to experience different cultures around the world to meet new people is an essential part of the human experience. And if 2020 has taught us anything, it's the way we should hold on to our humanity, because it may be all we have left when it is all said and done. For air travel, if an option for faster travel is available, then it should definitely be explored. There are still many things to consider, such as the environment as well as the economy. And most importantly, safety. We don't want a repeat of 2000 to happen, so these companies should do everything in its power to assure that we are not sacrificing the safety of everyone inside the plane with getting to our destinations faster. But as we slowly transition back to normal, supersonic travel is something that will eventually be back in our lives, and we either embrace it or deny it. What do you think of supersonic flight? Will you be riding in these new Concords? Drop a comment below letting us know what you think and how you feel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Ring that notification bell so you get notified when we upload a new video. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure to catch our next 2 videos, for it will be even better. Thank you for watching Gadget Surfer TV.